Hey guys. Hey Trissy. Hey Black Beauty. Hey Charles. Hey Janet Jackson. Hey Kimberly. What's going on, Kim? All right. I am going to go ahead and get started because it's a lot of reading in this thing here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get through the whole thing, but I'm gonna try. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I got a long day tomorrow. Had a long day tonight. Didn't get home till about 7. But I'm not going to read all of this tonight. There's two sets of document on here. There's 2 sets of document. They're all 147 pages. There's part 1 and part 2. I guess one part is for the money that was taken, and then the other part should be for hey Sherelle. The other part should be, hey Purple Kit Nix, hey Veronica. The other part should be the actual brief, but it's pretty long. It's 147 page on both. There's part 1 and part 2. Okay. Hey Nakia, what's going on, girly? Hey Tawana. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Has this table of authority. This is part 1. We're gonna do part 1. Yeah, part 1. And let me give you the table of content, all the stuff that they have on here, okay? They have the table of authority, plenary statement, statement of facts, the superseding indictment and trial conviction, trial. They have, and this is let me make sure it's part 1. Yeah, this is part 1. They have the racketeering enterprise and overview. B, Kelly's genital herpes diagnosis. C, bribery to obtain a fraudulent identification document for Aaliyah Horton. D, sexual exploitation of Stephanie. E, Mann Act violation, forced labor, and S, exploitation, S, you know the word S, exploitation of Jeronda. F, Mann Act violation, S, exploitation and forced labor of Jane. Counts 2, 3, 4, 5, and RA 8, RA 9, RA 10, RA 11. Then you have G, which is Mann Act violation, forced labor of Faith. Count 6, 7, 8, 9, and RA 12, RA 13, RA 14. Then you have H, other witnesses: Angela, Addie, Kate, Sanja, Alex, Alexis, Lewis and Alex, Anna. And then it has post-trial motions and sentencing. Argument point 1.1, the government adduce sufficiency evidence of an enterprise. Applicable law, standard of review, waiver and forfeiture, Rico's enterprise requirement. Kelly's waived any argument that court instruction were legally erroneous. It says it was plain error to permit the jurors to find the evidence shared in common purpose that was not illegal. They have evidence of charged common purposes was overwhelming. Then it says the enterprise was distinct from Kelly. Part 2, the government induced sufficient evidence to support the jury's verdict as to the remaining counts. Applicable law, discussion. Counts 6 and 8, racketeering, Acts 8, 12A, 14 and 14A, transport with the intent to engage in illegal activity. Count 7 and 9, racketeering, Act 8B, 12B and 14B. Persuasion, inducement, enticement, and coercion. Racketeering Act 9BD. Unlawful intercourse with a minor. Counts 6, 7, 8, and 9. And Racketeering Act 12 and 14. New York Penal Law, Section 120.20. Racketeering Act 6 and 13, forced labor. Point 3, the state law underlying Kelly's conviction do not suffer from any vagueness, infirmity. Relevant procedure history, pretrial motion to dismiss, pretrial motion, section 2307, applicable law, vagueness of challenge, standard of review, untimeliness, discussion, counts 6 through 9, and Racketeering Acts 12 through and 14, New York Penal Health Law, section 2307. Kelly was infected under section 2307. Section 2307 is not unconstitutionally vague. Racketeering Act 8, California Health and Safety Code, section 120920. Then there's a waiver. Then the indictment properly charged Kelly with the law in effect at the time of charged conduct. Section 120290 is not constitutionally vague. Point number 4, Kelly was not denied a fair trial, nor ineffective counsel during the voir dire. Relevant facts, applicable law, voir dire, ineffective assistance, argument. Point number 5, the district court properly admitted evidence for S-Act and Kelly's exposure of others to genital herpes. Relevant act, applicable law, evidentiary ruling, uncharged act, federal rule of evidence 403, argument, Angela's testimony regarding Aaliyah, evidence of Kelly exposure of others to herpes, testimony of Addie, Alexis, Anna, Lewis, and Alex, video exhibit 328, 329, 341, 342, and 343A. Point number 6, district court did not abuse its discretion in ordering restitution and authorizing seizure of Kelly's BOP funds. Applicable law, standard of review, restitution law, analysis, and the district court imposition of restitution within its discretion. And B, the district court orders authorized seizure of funds from Kelly's BOP account was within its discretion. Conclusion. And then they give a whole bunch of case laws. Let's see what else. All right, let's get started. All right, I'm going to put it up so you guys can see. All right, here we go. All right, let me put this up here for you guys. Oh. All right, here we go. I gotta get myself ready because it's gonna be a lot of reading. Like I said, I'm not gonna be on here too long because I gotta get myself ready for tonight. I'm just gonna read a little bit because I gotta take care of myself, y'all. Self comes first. All right, let's read. Go ahead. Preliminary statement. Defendant Appellant Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as R. Kelly, appeals from the amended judgment entered in December 2022 in the United States District Court of the Eastern District of New York. Donnelly J. Convicting him after 6 weeks jury trial of racketeering, 3 counts of each of Mann Act transportation to engage in illegal sexual activity and Mann Act coercion and enticement to engage in illegal S activity. I'm gonna keep saying S for that word sexual. S activity and 1 count each of Mann Act coercion of a minor to engage in illegal sexual activity, Mann Act transportation of a minor with intent to engage in an illegal sexual activity. The district court sentenced Kelly principally to a sentence of 360 months imprisonment to be followed by 5 years supervisory release, as well as $100,000 fine and approximately $379,649.90 in restitution. On appeal, Mr. Kelly challenges 1, the proof of a legal cognizable enterprise within the meaning of RICO. 2, the evidence supporting the jury's verdict on various of the Mann Act violation and Forced Labor Racketeering Act. Number 3, the constitutionality of certain state law on which the Mann Act conviction was predicated. 4, the constitutional adequacy of trial counsel during voir dire. 5, the district court's admission to certain evidence. And 6, the district's court determination in ordering restitution and authorizing the seizure of certain funds. These arguments, I need to go up. Okay, I'm just going to leave it here because I don't, hold on, let me go back up. Okay. Is this one I'm looking at? Is this the one, 1, 2, 2? Yeah, that's the one. I may not be able to move it with because I'm looking for my iPad, and this is okay. We're gonna go up to the next one. These arguments are without merit, and the court should affirm Kelly's conviction and sentence. Statement of facts. Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as R. Kelly, an award-winning musician and performer, used his fame and network of people closest to him to profit from his successful career and who were compensated because of their willingness to enable and perpetuate his activity to target, groom, and exploit young men and women, including minors, for his sexual gratification. 1, the superseding indictment and trial conviction. On March 2020, a grand jury in the Eastern District of New York returned a 3rd superseding indictment. The indictment charging Kelly with racketeering in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1962 and various violations of the Mann Act 18 U.S.C. 2421-24 relating to illegal sexual activity with Jane and Faith, GA 19-41. And the footnote says, many of the government's victim witnesses testify using pseudonym or their first name only. The government refers to the victims by their pseudonym or their first name, even whereas with Aaliyah and Jeronda, their full name were disclosed at trial. Okay, the parent ethical reference in A, SPA, SA, and GAR, the Kelly's appendix, his special appendix, his sealed appendix and government's appendix, respectively. BR refers to Kelly's brief, and PSR refers to pre-sentence investigation report, a copy of which is being sent to our court under seal. In September 2021, a jury convicted Kelly after a 6-week trial of all counts. The evidence adduced at trial consists of testimony from 50 witnesses, including 45 witnesses called by the government and 5 called by Kelly, and hundreds of exhibits. A. The racketeering enterprise and overview. Since the 1990s, Kelly led an organization comprised of inner circle of employees and associates, including a business manager, an accountant, recording engineer, personal assistants, runner, drivers, security personnel, and members of his entourage, who promoted his music and brand, but who also enabled Kelly's use of his fame and organization to engage in abusive and illegal sexual relationship with a number of victims, often minors, including sexual activities without disclosing a sexual transmitted disease, STD, that Kelly had contracted, production of child pornography, bribery, and coercion, among other crimes. Kelly and his inner circle assisted Kelly in his professional and personal life, which including managing studio and tour buses, and serving as receptionist, but also recruiting and maintaining Kelly's female victims. Kelly's inner circle in the 1990s included his personal assistants and tour manager, Demetrius Smith, his manager, Barry Hankerson, as well as Larry Hood, Bruce Kelly, and Tyree Jameson. After Hankerson, Daryl McDavid served as Kelly's manager and accountant. At various times between 2003 and 2011, Tom Arnold served as Kelly's studio manager, road manager, and personal assistant. Diane Copeland served as Kelly's personal assistant and later executive assistant, beginning in approximately 2004 and staying to approximately 15 years. Kelly's enterprise also included many runners, including witnesses Nicholas William and Anthony Novato, close associate Jermaine Maxey, also known as Bubba. And during the later years, personal assistants included Milton June Brown, George Junebug Kelly, Cheryl Mack, Suzette Mayweather, and Elizabeth Mayweather. At times, Kelly's runners required visitors to sign non-disclosure agreement and make copies of their identification document. They also escorted and provided food to female guests and provided them with food. They distributed slips of papers with Kelly's phone number and selected women and girls to join them backstage and at after parties. His runners picked up female guests from their homes, nearby train station, and airport. And his inner circle accompanied female guests to various locations, including the mall and salon. Hold on, sorry, I gotta get up there where I am. I can't do two of them at the same time. Okay, here we go. They distribute slips of papers with Kelly's phone numbers and selected women and girls to join them backstage and at after parties. His runners picked up female guests from their homes, nearby train stations, and airports. And his inner circle accompanied female guests to various locations, including the mall and salon. One of Kelly's drivers drove one of Kelly's female guests, a 16-year-old girl, from a mall in Jacksonville to meet Kelly in Miami, a 5.5-hour trip. His inner circle carried Kelly's backpack, which contained, among other items, iPad that he used to record sexual activities. Kelly's inner circle also assisted Kelly's female guests in arranging their air travel and hotel room, allowing them to visit Kelly across the United States. They picked up medication to treat Kelly's genital herpes. Kelly also expected them to make sure that his female guests and girlfriends abide by Kelly's rules, including keeping their control and confined. They stood guard when Kelly required his victim to stay in a particular place as punishment for breaking one of Kelly's rules. They had to report any female guests who left the room without permission. When one girlfriend, Anna, left Kelly on one occasion, Kelly confronted Copeland, then his personal assistant, about how she had let Anna escape. Anytime Kelly directed Copeland to pay close attention to his female guests, use their cellular phone, text message forwarded by Kelly to Copeland directing, "You should pay close attention to the girls." Phone, I said, especially with capital letters, y'all, Jane, and what exactly they do on them. Members of Kelly's inner circle also had to enforce the punishment Kelly pronounced on his victims. On one occasion, Kelly confronted assistant Suzette after he learned that she had let a girlfriend, Dominique, off the tour bus without obtaining Kelly's permission. When Kelly learned that on another occasion Dominique had shared personal information about herself with Suzette, Kelly confronted Suzette about the rule violation, leading Suzette to lie to Kelly because Suzette feared what Kelly might do to Dominique otherwise. Kelly relied on his inner circle and required them to abide by several rules, including signing non-disclosures agreement and obtaining Kelly's approval before carrying out the most mundane of tasks, such as allowing a guest to go to the bathroom. He also required his inner circle to carry out his demand without question and to be fiercely loyal. For example, Kelly told Cheryl Mack about a lawsuit filed against him by a 17-year-old aspiring female singer and instructed Mack that she must pick a team. Kelly threatened Mack and that in these type of situations, people come up missing. Kelly also fined members of his inner circle by withholding funds owed to them if they disobey his orders. In addition, Kelly required several members of his inner circle to write letters falsely confessing to bad conduct and provide those letters to Kelly so that Kelly could use them for his protection. B. Kelly genital herpes diagnosis. Dr. Chris McGrath was Kelly's primary care physician for over 25 years, beginning in September 1994 until sometimes in 2019. At some point after June 2000 and before March 19, 2007. Dr. McGrath concluded that Kelly had contracted genital herpes and STD. Dr. McGrath told Kelly that Kelly had genital herpes and advised him to inform his sexual partners of this fact so that they could make a decision whether or not to have sex with you or not. And Kelly confirmed he understood and he should use a condom when having sex. C. Bribery to obtain fraudulent identification document for Aaliyah Horton. In approximately 1992 or 1993, Kelly began having sexually abusing Aaliyah Horton, an inspired musical artist, when she was 13 or 14. In 1994, while on tour, Kelly approached Smith, told him that Aaliyah was in trouble, and instructed him to make a flight reservation immediately to Chicago. On the flight back from Chicago, Kelly was concerned and crying a lot. Explained to Smith that Aaliyah believed that she was pregnant. Kelly also told Smith that after speaking with Ms. McDavid, that he had devised a plan to marry Aaliyah so that he could avoid jail. Kelly and members of his inner circle gathered and discussed Kelly's plan to marry Aaliyah. Aaliyah, who was a minor, was not old enough to get a marriage license. Smith purported to the group gathering a fraudulent identification card for Aaliyah showing that she was of age from a local welfare office by bribing an employee with cash. McDavid gave Smith $500 in cash, and the group obtained the identification after Smith bribed a public aid office employee. Kelly, Smith, Aaliyah, and others went to obtain another fake identification card for Aaliyah and then to the clerk's office to obtain a marriage license, where they had to present identification. Based on the information provided, including the marriage application, falsely listed Aaliyah's date of birth, and the clerk office issued Kelly and Aaliyah a marriage license. Aaliyah and Kelly were married, and the marriage license was filed with the clerk of office. A few minutes after the ceremony, Kelly, Smith, and Jameson flew back to the concert venue to continue Kelly's tour. D. Sexual exploitation of Stephanie. During the summer of 1998, a 16-year-old girl, Stephanie, was at McDonald's restaurant in Chicago when a man asked her age. When Stephanie responded that she was 16, the man gestured over to Kelly, seated nearby, and told Stephanie that Kelly wanted her to call him and gave Stephanie Kelly's phone number. Stephanie did not call Kelly at the time. Approximately a year later, when Stephanie was 17, she sought Kelly out at a store to ask him if he would listen to her friend Catherine sing and potentially help Catherine with her career. Kelly used this introduction to Stephanie to arrange to have sexual intercourse with her, including when he knew she was a minor. So while Stephanie was still 17, Kelly videotaped Stephanie engaged in sexual contact with him. Stephanie saw Kelly and had recurring sexual intercourse with him for approximately 6 months. At various times, Kelly's employee transported her. Stephanie described Kelly as controlling, intimidating, and her sexual into action with him, including being instructed to have oral sex in front of others. As, as humiliating, Kelly taught Stephanie his rules. Stephanie was not allowed to speak to men and heard Kelly tell guests at dinner that he liked young girls, and other people make such a big deal about it. But it really isn't a big deal because I'm sorry, it isn't a big deal because even look at Jerry E. Lewis. He's a genius and I'm a genius, and we should be allowed to do whatever we want because what we give to this world. In approximately October 1999, one of Kelly's employees arranged for Stephanie to travel to Florida to see Kelly. And on that trip, Kelly recorded Stephanie giving him oral sex in a humiliating manner. And following the trip, Stephanie did not want to see Kelly anymore. Stephanie nonetheless continued to see Kelly because she wanted Kelly to give her the sex tape he had made of her. She asked Kelly to destroy it and give her the videotape on multiple occasions, but Kelly did not do so. Stephanie ultimately stopped speaking to Kelly. E. Mann Act violation, forced labor and sexual exploitation of Jeronda. On May 2009, shortly after Jeronda turned 16, Kelly's employee Maxie Bubba invited Jeronda to attend a party at Kelly's residence. At the party, Jeronda told Kelly that she was 19. Kelly and Jeronda exchanged telephone numbers, and thereafter Kelly invited Jeronda over, and one of Kelly's runner, Nevada, picked up Jeronda and drove her to Kelly's residence. There, Kelly had oral sexual intercourse with Jeronda, after which Jeronda told Kelly that she was in fact 16. Kelly told Jeronda to tell others that she was 19 and then had vaginal intercourse with her. He did not use any protection, never disclosed to her that he had contracted an STD. Kelly arranged for a runner to bring Jeronda an envelope with $50 and take her to a nearby train station when done. During the ensuing approximately 6 months that Jeronda spent with Kelly, Kelly continued to engage in unprotected sexual intercourse with her, and Jeronda contracted genital herpes. Jeronda told Kelly, and he arranged for a doctor to examine her and gave her medication. While they were together, Kelly regularly recorded Jeronda engaging in sexual explicit activity. While she was with Kelly, Jeronda also learned about certain Kelly's rules. When Jeronda broke one of the rules or otherwise failed to meet with his desire, Kelly physically assaulted her and told her that she was on punishment. Kelly also had Jeronda sign a non-disclosure agreement, write a false letter that would discredit any claim that she made against Kelly. For example, claiming that Jeronda had stolen from Kelly and that her sister had arranged for her to falsely claim that Kelly gave her genital herpes. In January 2010, when she was still 16, Jeronda broke one of Kelly's rules, angering Kelly. Kelly slapped her, choked her until she briefly passed out, spit on her, and told her to put her head down in shame. Kelly then instructed her to perform oral sex on him. Jeronda complained with Kelly's instruction. She complied with Kelly's instruction to perform oral sex on him. Jeronda complied with Kelly's instruction, and when she finished, Kelly ejaculated on Jeronda's face. Jeronda used her t-shirt to wipe off Kelly's semen. Biologically tested on the t-shirt later revealed the presence of sperm, and a DNA profile from sperm matched Kelly's DNA profile. In 2009, while Jeronda was inside of Kelly's residence, Jeronda learned that the police officer arrived at the residence looking for a 17-year-old friend of Jeronda. Friend of Jeronda. An officer testified at trial that he responded to Kelly's residence and spoke with McDavid in his search for a missing juvenile. Mann Act violation, sexual exploitation, and forced labor of Jane, counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, and RA 8, RA 9, RA 10, RA 11. Jane was 17 when she encountered Kelly at a concert in April 2015. Kelly had an associate provide Jane with his phone number, which Jane later called. Jane told Kelly that she was an aspiring singer. Kelly invited Jane to an audition for him at his hotel. Jane also falsely told Kelly that she was 18. When Jane arrived, she would only listen to Jane audition after she engaged in oral sex with him. Thereafter, Kelly arranged for Jane to travel cross country to meet him while he was on tour, including California. Mac, aware of Jane's birthday, arranged for travel and paid for by Kelly. Kelly had sexual contact with Jane while they were in California, and then Kelly began to teach his rule to Jane. Around this time, Jane and Kelly had their first vaginal sexual intercourse. Kelly did not use a condom and other protection, and did not tell Jane that he had genital herpes. Jane spent the summer in 2015 with Kelly, traveling to shows and staying with him in Chicago. August 2015, Jane was diagnosed with genital herpes, leaving her so she could not walk. With the assistance of Juice, whom Kelly described as one of Kelly's, who Jane described as one of Kelly's friends, and his assistant. Jane saw a doctor in downtown Chicago and prescribed medication. Jane told Kelly about her diagnosis, and she subsequently had outbreaks of herpes. Kelly desperated her. At the end of the summer, when Jane was scheduled to return home for her senior year in high school, Jane told Kelly that she was 17. Kelly arranged for Juice's mother to serve as Jane's legal guardian until she turned 18. For Jane's parents to enroll her in remote schooling. Jane then resumed travel with Kelly. During this time, Jane explained in text messages of her to her friend that she were to become pregnant. Kelly wanted her to have an abortion because she was not 18 yet. When Jane was still 17, Kelly recorded Jane engaged in sexual activity with him. Jane continued to live with Kelly until his arrest in July 2019, as did other women. Jane learned through Kelly and others that Kelly required Jane and other women who lived with Kelly to abide by his set of rules. His rules, he said. For example, Jane had to seek permission before she left areas where she was staying. When Jane was in Kelly's Sprinter van and needed to use the restroom, she would urinate into a cup when she was not permitted to get off the van. Jane was not permitted to look at or otherwise interact with other men, and was discouraged from communicating with friends or use social media. Jane drafted letters containing false and embarrassing statements and process other overseeing. And I'm sorry, one more time. I'm getting blinded here. Jane draft letters containing false and embarrassing statement, a process often overseen by Juice. At Kelly's direction, Jane also created videos containing false and embarrassing statement and doing humiliating things, including a video of her eating fecal as as a punishment. Feces, I'm sorry, not fecal, feces. Jane was required to report to Kelly when she saw anyone violating Kelly's rules. Kelly punished Jane when she did not follow his rules. Punishment inflicted by Kelly included spanking, physical assault, and confining Jane to a room or a bus for a prolonged period of time. Jane also saw Kelly spanking and otherwise physically assaulting another woman who lived with Kelly. When Kelly determined that one had broken his rule, Kelly also required Jane to have sexual contact with other men and women at Kelly's direction, often recorded, including a woman living with Kelly, his assistant, and Alex, a man who'd never seen before. Kelly directed her to have sex with him. When Kelly subjected Jane to confinement, his assistant typically stood by. One of Kelly's employees saw Kelly's female guest and girlfriend urinate in a cup on the sprinter rather than find in a restroom. Another employee understood that Kelly required his female guest and girlfriend to obtain permission before moving around, including to use the restroom. Lizette and Alicette Mayweather exchanged text messages in which they discussed punishment towards women, including that Kelly was holding Jane all day and that Jane had been held in a van for a lengthy time without food. Lizette knew Kelly met Jane when she was 17 and heard Kelly hit her on at least one occasion. Ugh. All right, I'm gonna Okay, let me go. G. Mann Act violation, forced labor of faith. All right, guys, I'm about to stop. My neck is starting to hurt. My neck is about to starting to hurt. My head. Hold on a second, yeah. Oh, Tracy, thank you. Thank you, Veronica. Guys, I appreciate it. Oh gosh, my neck is hurting me. Hold on, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna try to read a couple more. Oh my god, my neck is hurting me. I need to lay down. I'm gonna read up to page 20. I'm at page 19 now. Mann Act violation and forced labor of faith. Count 6, 7, 8, 9. And RA 12, RA 13, RA 14. Faith met Kelly in March 2017 when she was 19. Two women wearing t-shirts with Kelly faces and the word staff approached Faith and her sister and invited them backstage. No one checked Faith ID before entry. Kelly gave Faith his phone number, and the two later began communicating by phone. Kelly invited Faith to come see him on tour and told her that his assistant Copeland would make travel arrangement, which was subsequently paid for by Kelly. Faith traveled from Texas to New York to see Kelly in May 2017. Kelly had sexual intercourse with Faith in her hotel room, while filming using his iPad. Kelly did not use a condom and did not inform Faith that he had genital herpes. Prior to engaging in sexual intercourse with her afterward, Kelly indicated that if Faith was really like 16, she can tell Daddy. At Kelly's direction, Faith stayed in her hotel room for the duration of her trip. In the months that followed the first New York trip through Copeland, Kelly arranged for Faith to travel to see him in various cities, including Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York. In each of those locations, Kelly either engaged in sexual intercourse with Faith or had Faith to give him oral sex. When Faith told him she had her period, Kelly did not use a condom or tell Faith that he contracted genital herpes prior to sexual contact in any of these occasions, including in New York and in February 2018. Throughout this period, Faith learned more of Kelly's rules, and Kelly told Faith that to protect him, an attorney would bring some papers to Faith to sign, for Faith to sign. Though ultimately, the attorney did not show up. Kelly also said he needed Faith to write down something embarrassing about her family that she did not want anyone to know. During the conversation, Kelly told her that he had a group of girlfriends and that he raised. Thereafter, he told Faith to send a text message to his various phone numbers stating, "Daddy, I want to be with you and the girls." Though Faith had told him he did not want that. On one occasion, when Faith was in the back of Kelly's Sprinter van for hours with one of Kelly's girlfriends, Joy, Faith had to use the bathroom but could not get out of the van because it was locked. Y'all, how do you lock a van from the inside, y'all? I don't know. It was locked. After Joy told Faith that she had to ask first, Faith contacted both Copeland and Kelly. After Kelly texted Copeland that she was about to pass out, Copeland and Kelly finally came back to the Sprinter and drove Faith to use the bathroom. Copeland followed her there, though Copeland did not use the bathroom herself, and Copeland stood outside the bathroom stall. Kelly began increasingly controlling in his communication with Faith. He tried to follow his rules. During a trip in Los Angeles, Copeland directed Faith to visit a recording studio where she waited outside of Kelly's Sprinter for hours. Copeland eventually took Faith inside the studio and left her in a room. Kelly briefly entered, but Faith did not stand up, greet Kelly when he came into the room, and he left. Several more hours went by before Kelly returned. When Kelly returned to the room, he told Faith that he would have returned sooner if she had greeted him properly the first time. Y'all, this sounds so stupid now. How do you guys feel about some of the stuff that's being written in here? This is crazy. How do you get this become criminal? How does this become criminal? This is a grown behind woman. How does this become criminal, y'all? Gosh. How does this become criminal? All right, let me finish. Kelly directed Faith to a smaller room. Oh, hold on, I gotta go back. This is when he didn't when he returned because she didn't greet him the right way. Supposedly he laughed and then came back into the room and told her that. When Kelly returned to the room, he told Faith that he would have returned sooner if she had greeted him properly the first time. Kelly then directed Faith to take off her clothes and walk back and forth. Faith falsely told Kelly that she had her period because she did not want to have sex with him. Kelly sighed and said, "Well, why did you come?" Kelly directed Faith to a smaller room, and when she entered, she saw a gun lying on the ottoman. Kelly moved the gun near him and sat down in a chair and told Faith to stand across from him. And he then told Faith to pose and took photos of her with his iPad. While become irritated and complaining that she was not being sexy enough, Kelly then asked Faith a series of intimate questions and told Faith there would be consequences if she did not answer truthfully. Kelly then pulled out his penis, grabbed the back of Faith's neck, and told her to suck his dick, and positioned her forward so her mouth contact his penis. Kelly's gun remained nearby when this occurred. Faith was intimidated and she did not want to give Kelly oral sex, but she did. You said child lock and lock disable? But this is a Sprinter. You can go to the front and unlock it. You can go to the front and unlock it. If nobody's in the car, she's in the car by herself, she can climb up to the front, unlock the Sprinter, because you can't lock the front part. There's no like glass on that Sprinter. You can go across there and unlock that door if you're sitting in the car by yourself. You're 19 years old. You're not a baby. You can climb to the front and unlock yourself and get out the van. Don't tell me you can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. She's not a little kid. She's a grown woman. All right, let's go. I don't care if the child lock is on there. You can go to the front and unlock it. Let's not play those games. This is phony stuff here. A grown woman. All right, let me read this. I was reading the comment. But regardless of how many times after that did she ask to go back? Yeah, she kept going back to him. I mean, come on now, stop. Yeah, stop it. Stop. This is a grown behind woman, made a choice. She even said it in her thing. She said it in her interview. She was not a victim. She made a choice. I could play the video for y'all if y'all want me to. She was never a victim, she said. Not a victim. All right, let's go back and see. Let's go back. Throughout, Kelly's hand remained on the back of her neck, guiding her. Faith did not feel like she could leave the room because she was under Kelly's rules and he had a weapon. Really, girl? All those interviews you did, girl, you never said there was a gun there. You never said there was a gun there when you did all those interviews. And then when you get, I don't know, let me stop. Following her final trip to New York in February 2018, Faith stopped seeing Kelly and eventually sued him. Afterward, Kelly arranged for arranged for compromising photos he had taken of Faith to be sent to his lawyer with a letter threatening, among other things, to release the photo publicly if she did not abandon her lawsuit and stop speaking publicly about Kelly. Faith did not withdraw her lawsuit. Thereafter, Kelly associate Donald Russell sent threatening texts to Faith and her mother and created a Facebook page called Surviving Lies, where he ultimately followed through on those threats and publicly posts graphic photos of Faith. Other witnesses. Okay, here we go with the other witnesses. You guys notice that they didn't talk about the mother's text messages in this? Did you notice that? Okay. H. Other witnesses. Angela. Angela first met Kelly through a friend, Tiffany, in 1991, when Angela was 14 or 15, an inspired singer and a dancer. Tiffany brought Angela to Kelly's apartment in Chicago with two other high school girls. Bruce Kelly, Demetrius Smith, and Larry Hood were at the apartment when Kelly went with Kelly when they arrived. Those girls included Angela, then followed Kelly into a room, and Angela and Kelly had sexual intercourse, as did at least one other high school girl. When Angela and others left the room, Smith, Bruce, Kelly, and Hood were present. You notice something? Why did they put Bruce's full name and didn't put the other's full name? Oh, they did up there, but then when they came, they kept calling Bruce Kelly. I noticed that. All right, they gave it in the beginning, but then when they got into the middle, they just put Bruce's full name, didn't put Larry Hood. Okay. For the next few years, Angela saw Kelly almost every day. At some point in 1991, Angela stopped attending high school after Kelly gave her the option to either go to school or sing. Kelly continued to have sexual intercourse with Angela while she was between the ages of 15 and 17 on multiple occasions at his apartment, the recording studio, and now while they were on the road. Angela did not want to have sexual intercourse with Kelly, but did so because he told her and other girls that they had to pay their dues. Angela also met Aaliyah and saw her regularly. In 1992 and 1993, Aaliyah joined Kelly on tour, and during a stop in Washington, D.C., Angela saw Kelly perform oral sex on Aaliyah on the tour bus. Addie. On September 2nd, 1994, Addie, a 17-year-old girl, attended a concert in Miami with a friend. At the end of the concert, Kelly announced that women over the age of 18 could go backstage. You hear that? Women of over 18 could go backstage. Addie, under 18, did not intend to go backstage until two bouncers approached Addie and her friend and asked them if they wanted to go backstage to get Kelly's autograph. Addie was not asked her age at any point, but was led to Kelly's dressing room. While there, Addie mentioned to Kelly that she was an inspiring artist, and in response to which Kelly invited Addie to his hotel room for an audition. Addie told Kelly that she was only 17. Kelly then spoke to two of his bouncers, and the bouncer escorted everyone from the dressing room except Addie and her friend. Once alone in the room, Kelly played a song for the girls and then kissed them. Then Addie pulled away. Kelly began more aggressively holding Addie's wrist and unzipped her shorts and penetrate her vagina with his penis. After Kelly finished having intercourse with Addie, she was in a state of shock. She opened the door, which he had unlocked, and ran out the room. Kate met Kelly in 2001 when she was 27 years old and living in Chicago. Kate had a sexual relationship with Kelly. Kate expressed to Kelly that she was concerned that she might contract an STD. Asked him whether he would use protection, but he said he would not. Kelly did not disclose to Kate that he had an STD. While she was still in a sexual relationship with Kelly not in a sexual relationship with anyone else, Kate contracted genital herpes. Kate told Kelly that she believed that he had transmitted an STD to her. Sonja. In 2003, Sonja. In 2003, 21-year-old Sonja met Kelly at a mall. Sonja hoping to get an interview with Kelly to kickstart her career at a radio station, contacted Kelly after Kelly or a member of his entourage gave Sonja a piece of paper with Kelly's phone number. Kelly invited Sonja to travel to his studio, purportedly to conduct an interview of him, with travel arrangement by one of Kelly's associates. When Sonja arrived, one of Kelly's associates asked Sonja if she needed protection, which he explained meant condoms. I thought he doesn't ask for protection, y'all. He just said that they asked for protection. Okay. Another associate took Sonja to a room where she remained for approximately 3 to 4 days. At some point, one of Kelly's associates brought her a beverage in a cup, which she consumed it and became extremely tired. She woke up thereafter to find that her underwear had been removed and left a wetness in her vagina area and on her thighs. She saw Kelly in the corner of the room doing up his pants and belt. After Kelly left, one of Kelly's associates entered the room, told Sonja not to tell anyone about her time at the studio, made her sign a confidential agreement, and don't fuck with Mr. Kelly, which she took as a threat. Alexis. In 2006, 15-year-old Alexis met Kelly after one of Kelly's concerts. After a man told Alexis that Kelly wanted to meet her backstage, Alexis signed a non-disclosure agreement. Thereafter, Kelly arranged for his bus driver to transport Alexis by train to Jacksonville to Miami, from Jacksonville to Miami. To meet Kelly in Miami, his runner also arranged an airplane travel for Alexis to meet Kelly, including when she was 16 and 17. Alexis had sexual contact with Kelly in her teens, but could not recall whether their sexual relationship began before she was 18. Kelly did not use protection and never told her that he had contracted an STD. Lewis and Alex. In 2006, when Lewis was 17, Kelly gave Lewis his telephone number after meeting him in McDonald's. Lewis' mother called that number and told Kelly that Lewis was an inspiring musician. Lewis and his family thereafter attended a party hosted by Kelly. Kelly invited Lewis to meet him in his studio, ostensibly so that Kelly could help Lewis as a musician. Instead, Kelly gave Lewis, still 17, oral sex and recorded their sexual encounter. Prior to their initial sexual encounter, Kelly asked Lewis what he was willing to do for the music. On another occasion, Kelly directed another person to give Lewis oral sex. Lewis introduced Kelly to his friend Alex, who was a year younger than Lewis, and Kelly began to communicate on the phone with Alex. And when he was 17, eventually began a sexual relationship with Alex. At Kelly's direction, Alex also engaged in sexual activity, including intercourse with women, including Jane and Kelly's presence. Kelly regularly recorded Alex's sexual encounter with Kelly and with other women. Government Exhibit 341A, 342A, 343, and 343A depicted one each example where Kelly, naked from the waist down, directed Alex and other women to engage in oral and vaginal sex. Throughout, Alex and the other women did not smile. Throughout, Alex and other women did not smile and appear wholly unengaged. And Kelly directed each action, including by positioning the women and Alex into a various sexual position. Copeland arranged for Alex to travel and made hotel arrangement so that Alex could engage in sexual act with Kelly. In 2019, Kelly directed both Lewis and Alex to handwrite statement falsely denying that they ever had sexual contact with Kelly. Anna. In 2016, 20-year-old Anna met Kelly backstage in one of his concerts after Bubba approached her and told her that Kelly wanted to meet her. Kelly and Anna began to communicate by phone. Thereafter started a sexual relationship, during which time Anna regularly visited Kelly in Georgia, Chicago, and various concert venues throughout the country and ultimately moved in with him. Kelly's assistant typically arranged for Anna travel and hotel accommodation, which Kelly paid for. Kelly became increasingly controlling and problematic rules, which he expected Anna to follow. For example, Anna could not act without Kelly's permission. On occasion, when Kelly did not provide permission to use the restroom, Anna was forced to urinate in the cup. On one occasion, when Kelly discovered Anna still had a social media application on her cellular phone against his rule, Kelly had his assistant watch Anna to make sure she deactivated the account. Kelly also violently punished Anna in various ways when she violated his rule, including physical altercation in which Kelly's assistants were aware. Kelly recorded himself exacting punishment, including violently spanking Anna. As additional punishment, Kelly ordered Anna to walk back and forth while nude and high heel, instructing her to call herself degrading names. During these punishments, Kelly would sometimes masturbate and direct Anna to engage in non-consensual sex act with him. Kelly also instructed Anna to video record herself doing demeaning act, which sometimes involved bodily fluid and caused her humiliation. In addition, y'all, my eyes are bothering me. In addition, at Kelly's direction, Anna signed documents provided by Kelly's assistant that were for his protection that appears to be non-disclosure agreement. Kelly also instructed Anna to write letters dictated by him in which she wrote embarrassing falsehood and falsely admitted to blackmail schemes against Kelly. Kelly safeguarded the letters in his storage facility for him to hold against or down the line if something were to happen or to come about. Kelly also instructed Anna to have her mother relinquish her cellular phone number, remove her clothing, enter his sauna, and write a similar type of false letter claiming to have blackmailed Kelly as in case Anna's mother were to come against him in any type of way. As a condition of her visiting Anna, after her mother finished writing the letter, which she did so that she could see her daughter, Anna gave it to Copeland. Kelly directed Anna to have sex with Kelly and others, including on multiple occasions with Jane and other occasion with Alex. which Anna did not want to do and which Kelly recorded on an iPad. During these encounters, Kelly admonished Anna when she did not appear enthusiastic. Kelly never used a condom, and at one point, Anna obtained a test for STD. However, she never received her result because the doctor provided them directly to Copeland. Anna ended the relationship with Kelly in approximately December 2018. A jury convicted Kelly of all counts the following lengthy trial. I'm going to take a break. All right, good people. I'm about to stop because I need to go. I'm getting a little like sidetracked. Thanks, Steph. Thank you, Stephanie. Let me play the music for the people who just blessed me. Stephanie and let's see who says Stephanie and who's this? Stephanie and who else? Veronica and Trissy. Thank you guys. Let me put this music on. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I'm gonna take a break for a minute because my eyes are bothering me. I'm gonna take a break and then I'll come back and finish this stuff off. Remind me, I'm at page 33, post-trial motion. I just need to rest my eyes for a minute. My eyes are hurting me. Oh, my eyes are hurting me right now. But I'll come back and I'll finish this off. I don't know why I'm getting like blurry vision. I think I kept my eyes stuck in one spot. I think I'm gonna make this thing bigger next time. Give me a moment, okay, y'all? All right, and I'll see you guys in a few. I'll put the same title where I'll put part 2, okay? Give me, it's 9:14. I need to take a break for a minute because my eyes are bothering me. But I'll be back. I'll be back. I just need to give my eyes some rest for a second, all right? I'll see you guys in a few. All righty? Later.